everybody, it's Mark. I am feeling much better, thank you for asking. My family and I all had influenza B, and that was not fun. I don't wish it on anyone. But, getting to what we're doing this week. I have a small preview for you. It's a preview of my campaign, Dark Paths, which is a combination of Pathfinder 2nd Edition and Blades in the Dark. They're two of my favorite systems, and I wanted them to meet and have a kid, and that's what they did. I created all kinds of special crew things for the group, and I'm really looking forward to you guys listening to it. So, this is kind of just a lore dump. I tried to make it cinematic and all those good things to keep you interested, but it is essentially a lore dump, and it's kind of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. So we will get back to Chaos Springs Eternal as soon as we are able. We are all kind of scrambling here, trying to find time to record. We've had lots of things come up, including vacations, etc., etc., etc. So we will get back to recording Chaos Springs Eternal as soon as we are able, but for right now, please enjoy my gift to you, the lore dump for Dark Paths.
My esteemed collective members, could you perhaps quiet down? My friends, could you please quiet down? Please direct your attention to the... Would you quiet down and find your seats? Yes. Thank you for your cooperation. We are joined this evening by one of Haven's preeminent scholars, Dr. Albrecht Sundstad. He will be performing a prepared section of his famous lecture, Origin of Haven. Please give him your undivided attention. Professor?
Yes, thank you. Bitsy, was it? Yes, Bitsy. What a peculiar name. Thank you, Bitsy. It is my distinct honor to address such titans of the city. It is through your generosity in handling of keyboard positions that I am able to be here today. Thank you for your continued dedication to education, the arts, and the city of Haven. Shall I begin? We could not stop them from their cowardice. Our mortality tugged at our flesh and sealed our mouths, our lungs seared with the unspoken words, even as the world slowly crept to its inevitable halt. When the voices came unbidden in the quiet darkness, we listened, but no response was needed. For how does one respond to betrayal without first staring at it mouth agape? We wept, of course, but the tears that followed were that of a child weeping for their heavy-handed father. They no longer needed us. We no longer needed them. Our faith dissolved long ago as we, humanity, created our own miracles and enacted our own plans. We were content to let them be, to let them have their meager worship from a handful of the devout. The response could not have been more childish. They screamed at us and raged and begged for mercy. They called out to the primordial nothingness that is their father and the first spark that is their mother and received no reply. They were alone, petulant children screaming into the void, pleading for notice. Their only reply was their own terrified echoes. With that, the gods of the universe took the coward's way and willed themselves from existence. Thus, our doom. In their flight from humanity, the gods doomed us to the mercies of the universe. Everything ceased. Physics strained, stretched, and scrambled to reinvent itself in mere seconds. It failed. Eternal bonds snapped like a dry twig as gravity and mass became meaningless. Humanity was adrift in a cosmos that was shattering, and we were not without our casualties. Half of humanity died in those first tenuous moments, ripped apart by the fracturing of elemental forces. Those confused few who did survive did so without knowledge of why they continued to exist while their friends and loved ones were erased in a mist of blood and sinew. As the universe shuttled to a halt, its last gasp before its eventual collapse, 3 flesh and blood sisters in a small convent in a city called Silence combined their formidable power and did the unthinkable. They manifested the gods. It should be noted that the siblings did not recreate the gods or create new gods from whole cloth. They also did not reverse the flow of time or shift us to a different plane, as these things would have been catastrophic given the state of physics at the time. They simply brought the remaining essences of the gods to light. The universe's demise slowed and shifted under this new revelation. The gods were not entirely gone. In their flight, they left small pieces of themselves, tiny motes and ribbons of pure divinity. These sacred scraps covered the cosmos, a mingling miasma of holiness shifting and swaying in the celestial winds. It could not last. These entities were ephemeral at best, so the three sisters performed one final miracle, the gathering. The vault, as we know it today, did not exist at the time of the coward's flight, nor did it exist during the period of manifestation. While records from the time are scant and uninspiring, we believe that it was either created by the sisters themselves or simply came to be. We do know that the sisters attempted to fully realize one of the minor gods to see if it could be done, and it worked, albeit imperfectly. If you doubt this, I invite you to go visit the hatcheries of Mithrash, and I think you will see the imperfections quite clearly. After this failed attempt, they focused their will on the delicate task of gathering up the remaining essences and locking them into the complex matrices of the vault. For this, they did need to stop time, which they did, but at a great cost. Little is known about the origins of the three sisters. What we do know, we know only from their individual records. Sin, the eldest, was a consummate scholar and studied the structures hidden within the divine realm. Na, the youngest, was infatuated with time and the strictures that humanity had placed upon themselves. Agam was the middle child. She was a mystic, a prophet, and a seer. It was her mind that they sacrificed to preserve humanity. Agam removed all the scaffolding within herself and submitted fully to the will of their two sisters. Sin and Na used the now empty vessel that was their sister and managed to halt the flow of time for one full day. During that time, Agam sustained the magics that arrested time, and Sin and Na gathered all the ethereal deities and locked them into the vault. When it was over, Agam collapsed, her mind fully shattered, and what was left of humanity was saved. Now, despite their best efforts, the sister could not restore everything to its proper order. Some stars were set adrift, their chains of gravity severed. Planets that had followed a steady path for millennia now found themselves thousands or millions of miles off course, and our own planet's rotation was reduced to nothing, leaving thousands of survivors to either freeze to death or be cooked alive. The situation was untenable. Many of the survivors fled underground, seeking the temperature-stable confines of the pure dark, only to find horrors instead. Others headed to the Terminator Zone, a place in both light and shade. Thousands perished on their arduous journey, but some survived long enough to see both day and night. Thousands fled to silence in the warmth of the vault. They renamed the town Haven, and in the frigid darkness of an eternal winter, they erected the metallic enclosure that stands to this day. Now, my dear people, we cannot know what is to come, and the paths that lead us there are dark and treacherous. The Church of the Synthesis would have us believe in the old gods again, have us forget their treasons, and welcome them back as masters over all of us again. This is folly, but the Church holds all the cards when it comes to magical power and cannot be ignored. The citizenry would have us believe that empowering the people would bring about real change within the world. They demand fair wages, compensation for injuries, and equality, but these fools rely too heavily on a faction that relies on cutthroats and robbed banks. They cannot organize against their betters until they get their knives pointed in the right direction. As far as I see it, the only true path forward is an economy based on our divergent technology. We must rely on our ingenuity and our cunning to catapult us into the future. We only need to look above us as proof that humanity can thrive even in the harshest conditions. When we gaze out at our grand city and witness the marvels of innovation that dominate our daily lives, we need to give credit to the great men and women that speculated their vast fortunes to make these marvels come to be. We cannot rely on what has been proven to be false. From dead gods to lazy citizenry, these are the methods of our doom. We need to fuel our progress forward by investing in ourselves and putting our money and our future in the strong hands of those who have climbed that hill and know that the view is worth savoring.